Hey, Lindsay, Ginger Zebra, let's talk about a sore subject for me. That is working. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have worked since I was like 10. My dad owned a business. We did imprinted sportswear. Many shirts you might see, like printed shirts with a team logo on it we did sell some KU, K-State stuff, but mostly with local teams. I grew up in Topeka, Kansas, and we did a lot of local Topeka stuff, anything for Topeka High, Topeka West, in the 90s, some in the 80s, and anything from the 90s we did, and into the early 2000s we did until my dad sold the business. So I grew up starting basically in the 90s doing that job. I started working in retail when I was in high school, did some odd jobs about. Went to college. During college, I worked for a rental car company. Most people probably know who has a nice little wash your cars, build yourself up, wear suits while you're doing it type of thing, work hard, be a business management trainee, blah, blah, blah. Did that for 3.5 years, graduated college in 3.5 years despite transferring twice. Went to Fort Hays State my freshman year, went to K-State my sophomore year, met my husband my third day there. Didn't marry him in college, married him after. And went to Washburn while I was in high school. Then graduated, immediately went to work for an insurance company. At that time, I was estimating vehicles. Took an inside position in the service center, doing estimating as well as customer service, and then went back to claims adjusting and an injury claims adjuster when I was pregnant with my daughter, and even broke the diamond on my wedding ring at one point doing that. Then I kind of got a little bitter after 5 years of being an injury claims adjuster, 10 years of being an adjuster. After so many people yelling at you, it's kind of hard to stay impartial, excuse me. So I left that position, decided to take a role as being a Medicare sales agent, not for Medicare, but selling Medicare health plans. Spent 5 years doing that, was extremely successful my first 2 years until I got really sick. When I got really sick, it became so stressful to me that I was making less and less money, putting so much stress upon myself that I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I had heart attack-like episodes. I was in so much pain. I was in so much stress. I couldn't handle it. I ended up leaving. I took a short job, hated it, didn't like the atmosphere I was in, left, and now I work for a software solutions company selling software for health companies. It's very nice. I started in a sales position, quickly learned that with that sales position, I could not miss work like I have to because of my illness. After talking to HR and talking to my managers, I talked to them and said, hey, look, as much as I love my job and I love this company, I don't think I'm in the right position for my health and for what's best for the company, and suggested I moved into a lower position to make sure everyone's happy and make sure we can keep our clients happy. At that time, which was only about a month ago, I moved into what's called a sales development role. I technically am making less money, but if I call into work because I can't move, no one suffers. None of my coworkers have to be put in the spot to do a presentation for me, to do implementation, to talk to my clients, to do anything for me. And this is the role that I feel that I can do without having to make all of my coworkers suffer for me. It was a very tough decision coming from a place where I was making almost twice as much money, and I was in a very high paying, high rewarding sales position. It's been quite painful. It's been a huge financial hit. It's been hard, and it takes a hit on your ego. Not only has it taken away my ability to be who I am, my ability to be the perfect American girl size. I'm no longer a size 6 or a size 4, that skinny American woman. I'm curvy now. I'm larger. I'm not perfect. But so I have to give up my dream of being, not my dream. I have to give up the American woman size. I have to give up being the perfect mom. I have to give up being the PTA mom. I have to give up being everyone I want to be. Now I have to give up my career. I have to give up my income just because of an illness. It hits you every way possible. And it hits your finances. Not only are you paying more because of what you are putting out for emergency room visits, for doctor's bills, for everything, but then you are not going to work as much because you have those days where you literally just cannot get out of bed. Where getting out of bed is such a feat that you cannot be nice to anyone. Where I have to just pretend that I can be nice to my children. And it's so hard. And there are days where my children will literally come to me and hug me in bed and say, "Mommy, feel better." And that's the part that nobody tells you about. That's the part we hide. And this is why I'm doing this, is because I want people to know what life is truly like for us. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm putting it all out there. I want healthy people to know what we go through because of what happens to me, because the judgment, the looks I get. When I left my old position, they had seen me in the top of the sales team, at the top of my game, before I really was unhealthy, before everything really unleashed itself, and before the animal of the chronic illness became what it was. When I was at the top of my game, I was top 3 in sales. Literally, top 3. Over, 100 people, top 3 in the nation in Medicare sales. I rocked. I can't do it anymore. And admitting that is one of the hardest things I can ever do. I was one of the best. And now, if I went into that role again, I wouldn't be. And I know that because I can't put that kind of effort, time, and into it. And by the way, when I did that, I was still breastfeeding my son. Like, being a mom, my son was a year old. I was top of my game. I felt like I was literally on top of the world. It has crushed my spirit. that's part of the reason that I have fallen into such a rough time, is because how do you go from being on the top of your world and the top of your game to taking a position that's lower than what you were? And every manager says you're way overeducated, you're way overqualified for the position you're in, so why are you in it? Well, I'm in it because I need to be in a position where I can coast. I need to be able to coast. And I'll tell you guys what's coming up next week for me. I haven't announced it officially. I need to have everything approved at work first. Then I'll tell you guys what's coming up next week. But right now, I need to put it in neutral. I need to coast. I need to get a solid salary. And I need to just be there. Nothing more. No major ups and downs from sales and commissions and all that stuff. Just solid. And this is something that I have never said. I have never put myself out there and said, I don't have a huge desire to be a manager, to go do this, to go do that. People watching this video who have known me are gonna flip out because that is not me. I am always pushing to do more. But right now, the more that I want to do is be a better mother, is be a better wife, is get healthier. I want to put myself first and put my family first for once. And that is so hard for me to say. I am so competitive and I do not settle for second place. I am a number one person. And with chronic illness, you may be number one with the most diseases, but you're not going to be number one at work. And I mean, I guess in my position right now, I am kind of number one because I get the highest numbers when I am at work because I'm overqualified. But it kind of makes it unfair to the other guys. I'm not really supposed to be in that role. I'm supposed to be doing the other one. So think about that. Think about that when you see someone who's just stuck in a role and you go, why are you doing that? Maybe there's another reason. Maybe there's a reason why. And they may not be telling it to you. Not all of us are out there like I am. I'm showing you this because I can. I want to. I want to be out there and I want to help. And people aren't going to understand this. And there comes my dog. But there is so much judgment. I'll do a whole episode on judgment. I've literally been refused my medication because I don't look sick. And I've had coworkers look at me going, there's no way you can have 50 diseases. Well, it's all right here. It can happen. I have more diseases than I have years. But just understand, we have issues. We all have our things. Some people aren't trying to be complacent. They're trying to just get by. And sometimes they apply for a lower position to be there. Have a good night.